Hello, my name is Jennifer Miller, and today we'll be discussing kinesthetic learning. There are various elements to kinesthetic learning, and today we're going to discuss individual learning styles, how the pandemic impacted kinesthetic learners, how cooperation can benefit from understanding kinesthetic learning styles, and how society can adjust the information and how they present it to kinesthetic learners. Various scholars, journals, and case studies explored how individuals learn, how at various ages we develop, and how personnel are taught to perform tasks. School systems, education services, and work environments have traditionally continued to teach a specific way to achieve an expected outcome for every person. Today we're going to discuss the individual learning styles, various studies, pandemic impacts, and an insight on how adult learning can be applied to individual learning styles. There are three different learning styles. We either learn visually, auditorily, or kinesthetically. A visual learner learns from diagrams, blackboard discussions, and flashcards. The auditory learner, which is the verbal, right? The reading out loud, the oral communication, and the study groups. The kinesthetic learner is the learner that is the active learner that learns by hands-on learning, building models, short study times, active learning. All of those are how they engage in their learning process. Research has shown that at a young age, children are lumped into one classroom regardless of learning styles. When children are in grades 1 through 3, they learn by touch, which is called kinesthetic. By grades 3 through 6, they start to advance into a visual learning style. By high school, young adults learn by lectures, or they are learning auditorily. Society assumes that everyone learns at the same pace and at the same projected learning style. This practice continues to adulthood. Studies have been performed that studies have indicated that students have a visual learning style of 28% of learners are visual, 22% are audio, and 22% have a kinesthetic learning dominance. So with that study by Hunsini and Fringash, not all students progress away from being kinesthetic learners. Kinesthetic students are disadvantaged without having access to their learning styles. The study was performed during the middle, or it was before the pandemic. When the pandemic occurred, it impacted kinesthetic learners. All students became distance learners. Distance learning disproportionately favors the visual learner, followed by the audio learner, and became very challenging for the kinesthetic learner. Distance learners were impacted by the impact on kinesthetic learners were students were no longer in an established classroom setting. Many students were isolated, and they lacked the group setting that they had become accustomed to. They were unable to continue their hands-on learning. Teachers were not equipped to deal with the shift from the in-classroom study group to the online, so they were not able to reach the hand-on learners. Schools lacked the resources to accommodate active learners, and parents did not fully understand what their students' learning style was to help them progress. A study performed by undergraduate students at a biology college in 2021, which was during the middle of the pandemic, came out with results that indicated kinesthetic learning was still being applied at the graduate level. The students were given a VARC test, which is a visual, aerial right, and kinesthetic learning test. The test was performed to understand how students are stimulated in a teaching and learning environment. The majority of the students had a multi-level learning preference, with kinesthetic moderately being most preferred. So 64% of the students were progressed of what society would say the normal learning environment. However, 17% of the students at the graduate or the undergraduate level were at 70% kinesthetic. When the study material in the college level was visual and auditory, which have very limited resources for reaching the kinesthetic learner. By the time students progress to by the time that we progress to our corporate lifestyles or we enter into the job market, we're often required to learn in a standardized format. Corporations can reach kinesthetic learners without discussing or without disassociating them by shifting documented training into a interactive and an online format with engagement activities. Research by Reyes on team effectiveness points to employees being more effective if they feel trust and acceptance within their organization or from their employer. Individuals who identify highly with their respective teams are more willing to share knowledge and help their other colleagues. Opening the lines of communication through a more expanding kinesthetic training base, kinesthetic learners will feel more a part of a team, increasing the effectiveness. Ways that we can reach our kinesthetic adult learners in our industries or in the classroom setting is by making some adjustments. By utilizing collaborative seating and writing services, this will allow the kinesthetic student, who again is by an active learner by touch, will have an improved learning experience. We can offer virtual online learning modules that provide cognitive effects. That will improve their conceptual learning style for the kinesthetic learner. By introducing new concepts at the beginning as the first step and providing a later step so that they can see the step portion of the learning will also help them improve their learning. By providing pre-learning material and allowing them to read the material prior to the instructed course has significantly shown to allow the kinesthetic learner an 80% increase in their learning. Active learning, by having smaller study groups and in a group setting and having active interaction in question and answer format, will actively increase the employee's learning ability of the task that they are being asked to perform. In summary, we have discussed 3 identified learning preferences: visual, audio, and kinesthetic. Studies have shown that society has a tailored, predetermined learning style for all learners. By knowing our learning style, people can tailor how they learn as they progress through different stages of their life. The pandemic forced education to evaluate learning styles. Adjusting how material or information is delivered will expand our individual knowledge. Knowing one's learning style has positively impacted one's future on-the-job training and growth. Team effectiveness is improved with the broadened training kinesthetic learning. I hope you've learned some things today through my discussions about kinesthetic learning. Thank you and have a nice day.